Hi everyone, it's Catherine here from Inky Finger Cat. As it's the first of the month, I am using up my pattern paper because that's what I do every month on my blog. I don't always film it, but I decided to today. Now, those that have been watching my they're not vlogs, my videos for a little while will know I did a bit of a craft haul. I did a lot of spending over the last few months, and I bought a load of my favourite things stamps, and I bought these Peacock ones specifically for this challenge to use up these papers. So the papers are all Making Cards magazine papers, and as you can see, these ones are all sort of like feather related. Some of them, obviously that one's that sort of blobby type of one is not a feather, but you know, it coordinated with the papers. I think they probably came together in the same magazine kit. I can't quite remember, these are so old. And so what's happened is I have at various points chopped up the papers and popped them into a pouch, and now they are all ready for using. I decided I was going to make 3 cards because there are 3 peacock images, and I thought, well, why not? So I stamped all 3 in my stamp platform using Memento. I do double stamp just to make sure that I got all of the line art as I wanted, and then I'm going to grab a mixture of pro markers and Stampin' Blend markers, so all alcohol ink markers, which is why I'd use Memento, and I'm going to colour them in. Now, I am not a great colourist, and I am also totally not being accurate in terms of my joyful peacocks, because I'm just adding in any colours that work with the cards, with the papers that I've chosen. So they're sort of peacock colours, so they're sort of like this emeraldy colours and the jade and then the purple, but I also add in pink and blue. But yeah, so they're not quite peacock colours, but you know what? They make fun peacocks in the end. So, as I say, I am not exactly a colourist. I enjoy colouring in, but it is not my special skill. And these, I don't make a huge effort to kind of blend in the inks or anything. I just kind of do a bit of a flat colour. But I think they look quite cute in the end. Now, what I didn't do was do all 3 at once. What I did was them one at a time for each card, because I wasn't entirely sure which one I would use for which. And I did change up the colours a little bit for each of them. They are the same generic colours, but I do change up the order in which I colour them and how they end up. So then I take my scissors and I'm going to do a little bit of fussy cutting, because again, if you saw that whole video, you'll know there were no dies that went with this. There were originally, but there weren't any in the offer that I was shopping in. So this was quite a big well, it was a splurge I had, but of total bargains. I like buying from Seven Hills Crafts. They stock quite a lot of the American brands that I can't get elsewhere, or they're not easy to come across in the UK. And every Friday, although sometimes it's on different days of the week, they have like a little bit of a clear out of the stock room, I think, and they pop some on offer, and they are really good bargains. So like £3, £2.50, that kind of thing. I can't remember off the top of my head how much this one cost. In total, I spent just under £50, but I got loads of stuff in that haul. So please do check out my haul video if you're interested. Now, I decided to do the sentiment just for you. I should have stamped it 3 times, but I only stamped it twice. It doesn't matter, because I change it up on the final card and don't have it as just a little sentiment banner. But I've added that along with a little bit of a die cut oval. The cardstock that I'm using is all Kingston Crafts cardstock, and they're all like bits and pieces that I had left over. And so they just become card toppers. I do go and make some card blanks towards the end of the video to stick these on, and that works really well in terms of the colour coordination. And I actually use a mix of cardstock at that point, because I think that one of the colours that I use is actually a Stampin' Up one. So I'm on to second card, and this time it's a lighter coloured purple that I've used in the background. I've used a lot of that blobby type paper. And again, I am colouring my peacock. This time on the design, I've just chosen to do a different coloured paper, a different paper as a panel on the top, almost like a little card topper, although I do end up covering most of that up when I come to put my little peacock on, because I decided to add another block of the cardstock just to frame him. He didn't look quite right just directly against the pattern paper. So again, really quick colouring. I am not really doing any blending or anything. I do a little bit more blending on the final one, but really not very much. And then I'm going to fussy cut him out. So when I'm doing these first of the month projects, it is a little bit of just a simple, not really thinking about it crafting. It doesn't tend to be technique based. It tends to be cut and stick kind of crafting. Do you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely fine. I enjoy the process. I get out of my head for a little while, which is what I craft for, is to stop me from doing the overthinking and the craziness that my life normally is. So I just enjoy the very simple process of crafting. Now, on all of these cards, I end up adding some of the enamel accents. As you can see, it's quite an old bottle, so it is clogged. But I just add some little dots just to the peacock's tails for all three of the cards. Right, final one. The final one, I do something a bit different. It is a much darker purple that I choose, and then I ended up doing a sort of a banner tail to it. I didn't get it very even, but you know what? It is fine for what it is. I would love to be able to just do things so that they always look neat, but that just doesn't. And at this point, I thought I was going to add in some of the flowers, the feathers that were in the papers, but I didn't end up. I do end up using that, but on the inside of one of the cards at some point, just so it's used up. But yeah, I decided not to. I also contemplated putting another banner of that green paper there, but again, I changed my mind and decided it wasn't working. So I'm on to the last of my peacocks. This time added a little bit more pink because there's more pink in this particular paper. But again, stuck to fairly similar as last time, although this time I did do a little bit of blending, as in I just added the darker colour first and then went over it with the lighter colour to sort of blend it out so it looked like there's a bit of depth to my peacock. To be honest, doesn't really make a difference in the end card, but I think it looks quite cute. I do think I need to do something about investing in some alcohol markers, because the tips on these stamping blends are not great now on the brush markers. They've become really quite feathery, and I am sort of like, as I find one that's dried up, I am just chucking it. I will be honest, I am not bothering to think about re-inking them or anything along those lines. Actually, I'm not even sure you can with the Stampin' Up ones. But anyway, so on for my sentiment. As I said, I did this one slightly different. So I actually put my sentiment directly onto that banner that I'd cut from cardstock strip. That's just the same colour as the mat for the background. Again, white heat embossing it. I love the look of white heat embossing a sentiment onto a darker coloured strip. I am aware that I popped that little banner down a little bit wonky. So I do fiddle with it and manage to slightly adjust it when I realise that that is what I've done, and that it is wonky. So here we go. This is me. Oh no, this is me neatening up the banner element, and then I think, oh, that's a bit wonky. So I just fiddle with it until it looks straighter. I wouldn't say it was straight, but straighter. So I've popped those all off to the side, and now I need to make my card blanks. So I've gone and grabbed two different pieces of cardstock. One of them's, as I say, this top one is Kingston Crafts. I think this one is a Stampin' Up one. Different colours of purple, and I score them both at 14.9 centimetres, which is basically half, and then I fold them over, scoring it with burnishing it with a bone folder first, and then I fold them over and then cut them at 10.5 centimetres. No idea why I always do that in centimetres, because most of the time I craft in my head and I don't usually measure things, and if I do measure them I tend to do them in inches and half inches. Don't know why I do that. Right, so because they are quite dark card blanks, I always put an insert in. So this is me just cutting my inserts down to being half a centimetre less. See? Centimetres, because of the fact that they're going in a card blank, that I know what the centimetres are. I mean, it's 6x4, but it's not quite 6x4. And on each of these inserts, I basically just add a little strip of the paper that has been on the front, and on this one I add in that feather that I'd fussy cut out, because, you know, might as well use it. And if there's anything else hanging around, I tend to add that in. So on this one I add in that strip of the purple cardstock as well, just to the end, and it just makes it feel like the inside finishes off what's happened on the outside. And then this final one, again, the same pattern paper that was on the inside. I mistakenly go to start adding it to the actual inside of the card at first, and then I realised no, it needs to be on the insert. And then I faffed around deciding if there was something else to add in, and decided against it. And that is my 3 cards done. I have still got quite a lot of the paper left though. So I'm going to pop that all back into the pouch for another card project at some point. Might be this month, might be another month, who knows. But I am really happy with the 3 cards that I made. I hope you like them. I love that cute peacock stamp set. I think it's adorable. I really liked working with those papers as well. So I am looking forward to making some more with them. Please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. How are you doing with working through your stash of pattern paper? Do you have a mountain like I do? It's always fun to set yourself a challenge to try and get stuff used up, is what I will say. So that's what I am absolutely trying to do. Please subscribe to see more videos. I am not entirely sure when the next one will be out, but hopefully soon. Probably a scrapping Saturday, might even be a festive Friday, who knows. But until next time, thank you so much for watching and for following my channel, and goodbye.